Hello everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Let's Play Dark Souls. Unfortunately, I have some bad news. My capture card did not exactly do very well when I was recording this earlier. I'm not sure if it's my capture card or my computer, but I basically cleared out this boss and I was just going to do another recording right away of after the boss in this area. And I realized that everything I recorded up until beating the boss and then saving my game again at the bonfire was really awful, and it was sketchy and it was just awful. So unfortunately, I have no footage of myself beating the boss in this area or going through this place and getting some cool items, and I feel really bad about that. And unfortunately, because the game has an autosave feature, and it's only on one profile, basically, there's no way for me to go back to a previous save and do it over again. And I really apologize for that. So, we're just going to move on, and I'll try to make it up to you guys some other time. But this is where the boss would have been. This is where the fight would have taken place. And this little ring of light appears after you beat him, and then this happens. And we are in Anor Londo now, which is probably my second favorite area in the entire game. I absolutely love this place. And you'll see that I'm also using a new sword now. It is the Black Knight Greatsword, or no, it's just the Black Knight Sword or something like that. And it's only leveled up to a +3 because it requires Twinkling Titanite to upgrade, not regular Titanite. But the reason why I switched is because even at a +3 versus my Butcher Knife at +10, this is already doing more damage. So it's going to be a much better weapon over time than the Butcher Knife would have been. So there are these new enemies, these big iron giants, iron golems. No, not iron golems, sorry. It's like big iron giants or something like that. And basically you want to get them to do the shield bash on the ground and just get behind them and hit them with everything you've got. And you want to try to lure them out one at a time like I'm doing, because fighting two of them is nearly impossible. So there it is. There we go. They have a really weird area in front of them when they're holding their shield up, where even if it looks like you're slashing their legs, the shield will still block the damage that you're doing. So you want to be very careful about actually attacking them from the front at all. So I'm checking to see if this is a mimic chest. It's not a mimic chest, so we're going to open it up and get some Demon Titanite out of it. There is a mimic chest in this area that I will open up, so I will finally be able to show you guys what a mimic chest looks like. It would have been possible to do it in Sen's Fortress, but I didn't take a path that would have a mimic chest for us to look at. There will probably be a video in the future where I go back to Sen's Fortress and I get some items that we left behind.
You are a rare visitor.
So here's a Firekeeper. She's in charge of this bonfire.
And head straight yonder, if you are the chosen one. A revelation shall visit thee. What follows thereafter depends upon you.
Alright. And we could reinforce our Estus Flask, but we don't have a Firekeeper soul to do that with. So save, get 10 Estus Flasks out of that, And we're going to go forward. Now, she said to keep going straight after exiting this place to get to where we're supposed to go. We don't want to do that, though, because there's some more treasure over here. There's also an alternate path. We're not going to take that yet, because we cannot go anywhere on this alternate path until we beat the boss in this area and do another thing. So we're just going to attract these guys, the attention of these two guards, and then we're going to have some fun with a mimic. So right there is a little jumping away thing. They like to do that. So there you go. If you're on the side, if you're on the right arm side of the giants, you can get some damage in without the shield blocking it. But it's still a slim window. And that jump can really ruin your positioning if you're not careful. So there we go. He slams his shield onto the ground, gives us an opening, we take it, and he's done. So I think this one is the mimic chest. Nope, it is not. So you'll notice that the chain next to the chest was looping towards us. This one is looping away from us. That is the sign that a chest is a mimic. And that's what they look like. The coloration is also slightly different, and the chest actually breathes, but it's very difficult to tell both of those things. So the most reliable way, I'm not going to say the only reliable, because even then, if you haven't seen a mimic for a while, you might forget which way the loop of the chain is supposed to be. So I'll say the most reliable way to tell that it's a mimic is that chain. And even then, from this point forward, you kind of want to be careful and attack every treasure chest you see. I won't be doing that for every chest because I've memorized where some of the mimics are and where some of these chests are actually real. So you remember the first real boss of the game? Well, I guess once we left the tutorial area, the big gargoyles. Now it's just a regular enemy in the middle of the area. And one attack cuts its tail off. I should have kept attacking there. He probably would have stayed stunned if I had. Luckily that swing there missed while I was getting up. That's pretty lucky. Ooh, good hit. Okay, let's back up. Gonna need to heal. There we go. That's a good opportunity. Oh, he's actually running away. Well, I don't like that. He's almost dead. Just a few more hits. There we go. Ooh. That's a new move. I don't remember them doing that move the first time that we fought them. So that's new. So now we're going to go back here. There's a treasure chest. But first, let's look at this quick. The reason why we're not going to go forward is because there's no way we're going to make that. Even if we jump, there's no way we're going to make that. So there's a different way that we have to take to progress forward in this area. So there's a treasure chest back here. And it's some demon titanite. Getting a lot of that in this place. And through this little archway down here is the path that we have to take. Yes, onto this narrow beam going up to a church. This is the path that the game designers decided would be the only way to progress forward. And there's really no way that you can figure that out for yourself without spending a lot of time and getting super frustrated, unless you're going online to watch a video of a guy go through this area. People also leave messages in this area saying, hey, go this way, or, here, this is where a secret path is. And that's another way that you would be able to find it somewhat quickly. It was one of my very first videos that I said that Dark Souls has narrow beams that it likes to make you walk on in one area. Well, this is the area. And unfortunately, with this sword's moveset, I don't think I want to be using that sword to go across these. Butcher Knife it's not really much of a step forward when you swing, so I think that's what I'm going to have to go with here. So yeah, we have to walk across these very narrow beams to make it across the church out the other side where the exit is. And it's extremely nerve-wracking, especially the first time you do it. Now, if walking across this wasn't hard enough, there are enemies throwing throwing knives. And it's somewhat noticeable here, but even if I block the throwing knives, it makes me slide backwards a little bit from the impact. So you want to just move forward with your shield raised, just take it inch by inch, and eventually once you close to a certain distance from them, they will charge at you to attack you. You could parry, but I'm just going to block and attack them back. That's all I'm going to do. Cut the chain on the chandelier, it falls. There's an item on the chandelier, which is why you want to cut it and make it fall. And we're just going to keep moving here and hopefully not fall off. Because, of course, it wouldn't be Dark Souls if we didn't have enemies attacking us in this area. And they usually do a good job of dodging your hits like that. Ah, shit. I wasn't paying attention to my stamina. That's my fault. Was not paying attention to that at all. Well, it's no big deal. We don't have to fight that gargoyle again. It counts as a unique enemy and it will not respawn. This church, by the way, is also very important for the lore of the game. I will not do it right now, but once we beat the boss in Anor Londo, we will probably explore the church in more detail, because that is another area of the game altogether. And it actually leads to my favorite area in the entire game. But it's much more important for now that we defeat the boss and finish this area. So let's not fall here. There is a way to land on that little railing and roll forward, and you will not take damage from the fall. But of course, that's risky, and it could lead to you falling off and dying if you don't time it right, where you fall off too early. I'm just trying to get a backstab here, but that's not working, so whatever. And these painting guardians, they're called, are only... Wait, they're unique to this church. They do not appear at any other point in this entire game. Whereas most of the enemies appear in more than one place, not these guys. Come on, buddy. Come on. There we go. When they do that jumping attack and they miss, it's the greatest feeling in the world because it's a very easy kill. I wasn't going to swing more than once because I didn't want him to tumble backwards and I'll be out of stamina again. That's what led to me dying the first time over here. It's not going to happen again. Pick that up. We're good to go. Perfect. And there we get one of their swords. And they're okay. It's nothing you ever should use, really. But they're okay. Gonna do a weird little strafe to get over here. Oop, good roll, good roll. There we go, you're done. So we see a statue here in front of us, and that is the daughter of Gwyn, Lord of Sun. The person that received one of the Lord Souls, or I think they're called Lord Souls. It's been a while since I've delved into the lore of this game. So if I get a name wrong, I'm sorry. I apologize. He was in the opening cinematic for the game. He's very central to all the history of this world, and that's his daughter, Guinevere. So we're going to go back up these stairs because there's nothing down there. I thought there was a chest, but I was wrong. And we're going to head out this fog wall. And there's no point in keeping the butcher knife anymore because there are no more narrow beams like that. There's a lever here, and the lever's there because we have to turn this crank and it repositions where this whole platform is, and I think we'll see a cutscene actually for it. Yes. So there are those levers, and there's more than one. There's one at each one of these levels, so that if you find yourself at one of these levels somehow, and this whole platform is not at a level that it needs to be for you to get onto it to progress through the area, you just pull that lever and it makes this thing turn down to where you are, or up to where you are, whatever. So you're not trapped if you're magically on the wrong area. So here you see cut off his tail, and he's stunned for a while. You can get some good hits in. So he's much easier than that first fight I had with him made him seem. So besides turning it down once to be able to get to the level we need it at, you can turn the crank one more time to make it go an extra level down. And if you do this, we're going to get down to a special little area that it won't even come into play, really, for most people. Because in order for this place to really do what it's supposed to do, you need to do a couple of steps. You need to kill a certain person, or you need to wear a certain ring to really make that area interesting and make it do something cool. And most people just don't know that. In fact, I'm not really even a big fan of those things. I'm not really a big fan of that area or what it does. So I probably won't even do it in this walkthrough. I might. And also, if you go over here, this is the first floor of the church. And we'll need to go there later. But for now, we're going to go back, turn the crank again, and go on the path that we're supposed to be taking. Now, before, when I was walking across those beams, I said how nerve-wracking that was. But we're coming up to a part that is almost more nerve-wracking than that. And we still haven't really hit a bonfire. That would make this trip less painful. Because now that we've turned that crank, we didn't really need to use that second bonfire that we just saw, because now that the crank has been turned, that platform is on the right level, so that the first bonfire in this area is not out of the way. And we won't have to go through the church anymore to get over here. And you can lure them down the stairs, they're just not very likely to actually... They're not very likely to follow you down the stairs. And I have yet to get these guys to drop an item. Was hoping for that, but I guess it's not going to happen. There we go, drop your shield. And there he leaps out of the way and evades getting killed. I don't like it when that happens. Ah! Should not have gone for the thrusting attack. Come on, buddy. There we go, that's what I want. I'll stick with the regular swing. So now we get to the nerve-wracking area. And there are these big doors, but they're locked. Can't open them. So we're gonna go over here. There's another set of doors over here, but this set of doors is not used for anything, and in fact, if we even walk up to it, there's no prompt whatsoever. So it's just kind of part of the area that was modeled in and has absolutely no use. So there are 3 of these. I don't want to call them gargoyles, but they're these winged creature things. Little demons. There we go. So let's use this spell. And he keeps jumping every time I freak. Oh god. So their spears do lightning damage. And I might die. I might die again. Because even when I use my shield to block the attack, the lightning damage still hits me. So even if I'm successful in predicting their movements, blocking their attacks, I'm still going to take damage. I wanted to attack, but it would put my stamina too low at that moment. Alright, it's now or never. There we go. Every now and then you can get these guys to do a backwards jump, they'll fall off, and for some reason they won't think to fly, and so they'll just die. They'll fall to their deaths. I almost got knocked off there. You can also stun them. I'm not sure exactly how much damage you need to do to stun them, but it is possible. So now there's this path on another beam. Luckily there are guards on the side of them, so we're not just gonna fall off if we're not paying attention. And there are 2 more gargoyles down here, but they're around the corners of these columns. And if you can attract the attention of both of them, sometimes you get lucky and one of them will just fall off. And I think I'm a little bit too far away for these fireballs. Let's get a little closer. Nah, okay, let's go to the Great Chaos Fireball then. There we go. Walk into it, walk into it. Ah. Alright. I feel like that's a waste, but I don't really want to go forward and attack with my sword because he has the advantage with the long reach of that spear of his. So we're going to get this guy's attention. Hopefully we can get him to walk into the lava pools from this spell. Oh, he didn't get stunned back from the first hit, so yeah, that totally worked. Perfect. So now here's the really bad part. Hear that sound? Yeah, huge arrows are being fired. Huge arrows. You wanna be sprinting the whole time you're running on these beams with your shield raised the entire time. That's the only way you have a chance of surviving this. Also be at full health. Whoa, almost went off the edge there. Once we get to the top, this guy should come over and attack us with a sword. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. Blocking those arrows sucks. Oh, come on. I need to do a parry. It's really the only way. Yes! And even if you don't do enough damage to kill him with a parry, there's a good chance you're gonna knock him off. There's another knight on the other side that I could have ran over and killed. I didn't want to risk it because there's a bonfire right up ahead here. And that's how you progress through this game. That's the only way to get to this part. You have to go through those beams. You have to fight those enemies. So we're going to open up this door here and we're going to see Solaire hanging out by a bonfire. So first we're going to light it. Then we're going to go talk to him.
Oh, there you are. You've been quiet these days. Smooth summoning out there. Anytime you see my brilliantly shining signature, do not hesitate to call upon me. You've left me with quite an impression. I would relish a chance to assist you.
So that's it, everybody. I'm going to save here, and we're going to finish Anor Londo on my next episode. So stay tuned for another exciting episode of Let's Play Dark Souls. If you like what I'm doing, you want to see more, like, favorite, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. And I will catch you crazy guys later.